Who's doing the commentary? Huh? Well, why don't we? I've got a sandwich coming. Why don't we wait till you get the commentator? A few minutes.
I mean, it might be more than a few minutes during the day. So it would be fully remote, so it needs to be someone who's available.
So, Joe, my sandwich will come later. So
When
so
it
we-
both
we-
come together, we'll just stop, take a break.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I need some other.
No, it was on its way. Are you okay with this? This is a big song. Nice.
Joe, do you have a side bed?
Huh?
Side food?
Yeah, both sides.
Both.
Yeah, you too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Brad, you heard all the announcements? You heard all the announcements?
I can get some. What I really need to do is get power. Yeah. Until we set that
I think that's good. They play Dion Checker.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
You didn't happen to you in all these matches so far?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just double check. Jeff, we're playing Dion Checker, right? Six.
Rosemary, Stefan,
also a picture posted in the WhatsApp group.
The advanced division has begun. Please find your opponent and start your match. So today we just started the main event. So players have been here over the last couple of days playing other jackpots and warm-up tournaments and things like that. But today is the big one. It's the one that everybody plays in. We've got 27 players in the top division. We've got 14 in the second division. And it's a double elimination tournament. So they lose once, they can still win the whole thing. So a lot of excitement. Everyone is sky's the limit right now. Anyone could win. No one's been eliminated yet. Everyone's happy to be here and excited to play. Of course.
Are we doing 11-9 for both championship benefits?
Yes. Yeah, it's on the
Oh, so nothing.
So it's still on the wrap.
take a break? Okay. Sit outside.
All right, joining the action here, the main event, championship event in Jamaica. I got here just in time for a break. I'll have to check and see what round this is, but we've got extraordinarily strong players playing. 11-point match, Joe Russell and Akiko. I don't know how many world championships they have between the two of them. And it looks like Joe has a good plate of lunch to add to whatever his qualifications are. Honestly, Joe, it doesn't look like you need that lunch. Maybe get a Diet Coke instead. 3-0 to 11. I don't know. I'm assuming that's the current score. Well, that was fun. I'm Kent Goulding. I've been recruited to entertain myself watching some backgammon, and I'm delighted that I get to watch Joe Russell and Akiko play. Joe, surprisingly, even older than I am, although not by much. I think I have to call him sir for like 5 months or 6 months a year, and the rest of the time we're the same age. I've known him for, well, basically forever, so I'm well acquainted with Joe. I think I've met Akiko maybe once or twice, and really don't know her at all, other than by reputation and watching her play. This is round one of the Jamaica International Backgammon Championship, and in all my travels playing backgammon in a whole lot of places around the world, particularly in the old days, haven't traveled that much internationally recently. I've never been to Jamaica, so this is exciting. It's a new venue. Joe and Akiko should be giving us some very, very strong backgammon. I have a great deal of experience in rating backgammon players, recording backgammon matches, analyzing backgammon matches. So I'm sort of the closest thing there is to a living bot, although I don't, my opinion will not be as strong as, XG rollouts or probably even XG++. It will be stronger than if you're sitting looking at a mobile XG. You're better off listening to me than looking at it in most positions. At least I can explain what's happening, what the players should be thinking, general match strategy considerations. When we were young, when I was young, all the top players, backgammon was a money game, and the top players played for money, and tournaments came along and basically presented a venue in which to find more players to play for money. The tournament was often secondary, even at big tournaments. World championships. First world championships I played in were actually in the Bahamas, but the players would get there. Obviously the world championship was a big deal. There was often a bookie running around making odds. That was very exciting. Calcutta auctions back then, 40, 50 years ago, well, 45 years ago, Calcutta auctions were spectacular. Huge amounts of money were raised, particularly in international tournaments where there wouldn't be any, FBI or IRS people hanging around to make everybody have a very bad time instead of a very good time. But what we learned slowly, there were a lot of early innovators. I was probably one of them. Joe Russell was one of them, quite frankly. Paul McGreal sort of led the pack. Bill Roberti was involved. Kit Woolsey was involved. A number of others where we were trying to turn backgammon and prove to ourselves that backgammon was a game of skill as opposed to a game of chance. It was like in the 1970s, I hate to date myself too much, in the 1970s, a lot of the players playing were reasonably well-to-do, kind of leisure life people in exotic places. And, backgammon was sort of a culturally, vaguely acceptable form of gambling, much more acceptable than poker games or whatever. And a lot of the players who played it, viewed it as a gambling game, and that there isn't that much skill involved. You won by being, a little more lucky than your opponent. And a lot of the revolutionary young players, that would include Joe Russell back then, Paul McGreal, Mike Senkowitz. I don't want to name everybody I can think of, but those are people I knew well. They knew and were proving to themselves that it was not just a racing game or a luck game, but very much a game of skill and strategy. When the computers came along, they basically taught us that yes, it's a game of skill and strategy, but you can't always just say, okay, I'm going to make it a game of strategy, so I'm going to slot all of my points and get all of my checkers hit and win. Nor could you say, okay, I'm going to make it a racing game and just run with every number I can run with and try to win that way. Now, that's a viable way to win. I mean, opening 5-4 run, that was not uncommon. Opening 6-3, 6-4, 6-5 run. Try to get your back checkers out. Opening 4-3, move both back checkers forward. Slotting the 5-point with a 4-1 or a 2-1 or a 5-1 to many was viewed as suicide. Why would you leave a blot and get sent back, 20 pips when you don't have to? Just a free shot for your opponent, big deal. Particularly if you could have started your backmen moving. Your back checkers were your runners. You get your runners going. That was actually a common phrase for your back checkers. And that's, I think, to give another lesson here before I run out of steam on break, I viewed back checkers more as not runners, but linkers. If you look at the opening position, 13 of your checkers are in contact with each other. In other words, each checker is within 6 pips of the next checker. So there's a communication network all the way until you're bearing off. And the checkers on your midpoint, 8-point, and 6-point, if you can call your own numbers, it doesn't matter where your opponent puts his checkers. You can bring them all into the 6-point and then bear them all off. And there's nothing your opponent can do about it. The problem in the opening position is your 2 back checkers are not connected. They're very far from being connected to the rest of your checkers. And furthermore, half of your opponent's checkers are stacked up waiting to block them in further. And that presents the quandary. Do we run or do we block? Do we run or do we block? And it turns out we got the right idea that we kind of do neither. We try to connect our back checkers to the rest of the board, i.e. make our opponent's 20-point, our opponent's 5-point or 18-point. The golden point was what Paul McGreal called the 20-point. He recognized how valuable that point was if you're trying to make backgammon a game of skill. Once you've got your opponent's 20-point, you haven't literally connected them to the midpoint, but you've gotten very close. Furthermore, any checkers you get hit can come in right smack on your opponent's 5-point, which puts them right back into the action. They just get hit, come in on the 5-point, and then move back around again. And once you've done that, then you can start playing as a game of a blocking game of skill as opposed to a racing game of luck. Now I'm tired of talking and ready for the competitors to return. My understanding, I don't know how many players are here. This is it's a double elimination, basically a winner's bracket and a fighter's bracket. We don't like calling them losers. Personally, I may well accidentally keep calling them the loser's bracket. It sounds a little derogatory, but it is descriptive. I never viewed it as derogatory, but somebody must have, so it became the fighter's bracket. Maybe the better term for it is the fighters who lost bracket. That sounds even a little more derogatory. But in any event, I gather it's single elimination in the main bracket, and then the winner of the main bracket will then play the winner of the fighter's bracket in the final. And often the fighter's bracket winner will have to win twice. I don't know if that's the case here. Reading the screen in front of my face says 27 players. I don't know if they're doing well with a fighter's bracket. It's a little hard to do rebuys, so I guess that's not happening. So they probably had a few buys in the initial draw, and then away we go. I'm assuming these two did not have a buy. They're just in the round of 32, which is really the round of 64 or if they have to win twice, potentially the round of 64 or 128, depending. Lots of fun backgammon, I hope. I don't know who all is at the tournament. Haven't managed to do any homework to dredge up the entire draw sheet, but we certainly got what easily could be the finals right here in front of us now. Hey, it well be. You know, the loser of this match goes off to win the fighters bracket. The winner of this match goes on to win the winners bracket, and then we get a rematch. First in, last out. Play together first, then play together last. Wandering up to, is that Akiko approaching? And Joe Russell. All right, here we go.
Okay, great.
Or not. Slowly go. I can't see any type chat, so I apologize if you're watching on whatever stream. I can't see any type chat, so I can't answer any questions there. And I think if I set that up so I could see it, I'm out of sync with the sound, and the sounds would overlap, and it would be too confusing for me to do. All right, Joe's wandered off again, probably lost. He's getting old. These things happen. What year was it that Joe Russell won the World Championship? Hmm. 1989. There you go, 1989. Joe Russell won the World Championship. I believe I was there. I was probably there. I don't remember it vividly, so maybe I remember he won it. I don't remember actually being in Monte Carlo. I was in Monte Carlo a bunch in the mid 80s. For a while, myself, both with Nack Ballard and some assistance from, in the bookkeeping and handicapping from Bill Roberti and Mike Sienkiewicz. Nack and I were the official. This is way too much trouble for me. I don't want to do any of that. Oh, while I'm sitting here confusing myself with technology, they're not playing yet. Oh, I can sign it as Kent Goulding or KG Backgammon. That'll be Kent Goulding. All that to get back to where I was. Chat. Now, can I chat here? If I shrink that a little. Oops. Still waiting there. I'm not sure I can do this without having two separate screens. Okay, now I'm going to have to figure out how to do a pop-out chat. Good grief. I don't want my Google verification code anymore. Let's go back to, still nothing happening. This is a terribly long break. They may break right through my availability to help. I want to see some backgammon. Somebody call the director and file a complaint. $16 people watching on the Cafe YouTube channel. Everybody should Hit the like button. We've got the live chat opened. Well, the only thing that's happened is the players seem to be taking a break. I don't know if how they scheduled these things, or if they ought to have some control over that. All right. Well, they're there. They're setting up. We can talk about actual backgammon. 3-0 to 11. I can't give any percentages to it, but it will slightly warp. It will slightly warp the strategy. Once you have any lead in a match, and 3-0 to 11 is more than a little bit, you tend to bend slightly toward games that you're not highly volatile and go back and forth, so the cube gets turned back and forth with gammons involved. I mean, if you're playing a match to 11 and you got a 3-point lead, you don't want there to be an 8 cube with a gammon in it or something, so that the entire match is over and your 3-point lead was for nothing. Okay, this is interesting. In the face of the 2-1 slot, running out with 3-6-3 is perfectly reasonable. It might even be XG's favorite, but I sort of like it. Part of the theory is the ones to hit and the threes to hit are also the ones to cover and the threes to cover. There are other plays. Now Joe's got a decided edge. Okay, this too can be played as let's go all offense. If he can get if he could get a little bit more offense going there, then he might be in a position to have an early double. But now he's gone back. I think he's actually supposed to hit here. One of the reasons you take a tempo hit on the ace point, first of all, there's 4 numbers of flunk. And second of all, look how many sixes play, like 2-6 or whatever. They just don't work. So even though you're putting your own checker out of play, one of the key tests for should I hit loose on make a tempo hit on the ace point or not is if my opponent rolls anything with a 6, is that a bad number for him? In this case, it was very much a bad number. So Joe will hit something if he can. He's got 9s and 10s and 4s and 2s. That's a 10. I don't think he should hit with the 4. You saw his little bit of a hiccup there. That was his brain noticing the 4 hit on this side of the board, but then there was no good 6. So he did this. Okay, this is kind of cute. If she hits with the ace, she has no really good 4. She almost, she doesn't really want to take a 4th man off a third checker off her midpoint. There you go, hit. I like that. There was no good 4. The second checker up buys her time. Now Joe needs a 2. No, only half his number is in. Now Akiko, every number does something. So she's gone from sort of being back on her heels. Oops. Every number does something sort of except for this. Lots of choices, but one that stands out as a highly likely play is to make the 15-point, which she pointed to. The other is to cover this and then decide what to do with a 1. I think if you play that 6, then you should play that 1. I think that's clear. I don't know which is right. I mean, I'd probably lean toward making the 15, but this leaves open. This does give a 2-point board, which leaves open the chance of a flunk. Here, in and hit is easy. There's no, and making the 21 point is not really the point. Joe's on the offensive. Oh, good. Bad number. Now, again, probably a tempo hit somewhere. I mean, if she doesn't tempo, well, almost any legal 5 is reasonable, except 23 to 18 is terrible. So there's a tempo hit on the ace. There is a tempo hit on the 3. I think she's going to tempo hit, even though the 2s and 6s, which flunk, are diversified for Joe. There are 4 numbers which dance all together, which is a big deal. That's the safe tempo hit with only 11 immediate returns, but it also is stretching the checkers out awfully thin. I'm glad she's looking at the plays. It's obviously a very difficult play. She's a 2-time world champion and she's young, so she's learned a lot through XG. All of my learning, there was no XG. So some of the things I learned, I didn't learn correctly. Many of us back in the early days of modern backgammon, if there is such a thing, were very reluctant to make, loose hitting plays deep on our home board. So this is the purest. This is the play which feels best. So I like it that she chose it. Joe has lots and lots of good numbers, but no crushing numbers. I mean, oddly, if the match score was reversed, this might be a nice speculative double. Because even if he does nothing, like this, which does nothing, it's kind of hard for Akiko to put her position back together again. And if Joe could have hit that checker in the back, you see, here the problem is if he comes in with a 5, he's just leaving too much. So he sort of accepts cleaning things up a bit. And this 6-1 again doesn't really do it. She's probably gonna end up making her bar point. That's at least a bird in the hand. Nicely blocked 6-5, turns one potentially very good number into a very bad number. And she doesn't have another good option. Joe needs 1s, 2s, and 4s, and some 4-3s to hit on the other side. 2-5 pops them both. Okay, this could get too good very quickly. One of the things my old buddy, the late great Paul McGrill, said is way too often good players cash rather than play on for a gammon. And this isn't quite there, but it's sort of in the ballpark. Meanwhile, Akiko has, garbage take chances. If Joe can build his 4-point, her garbage take chances go out the window. But if Joe can't build his 4-point, and if you knew for sure Joe's next number wouldn't build his 4-point, or hit loose and have Akiko miss, then this might be a take. But it's just too much downside and not enough garbage winning chances if all of a sudden you've got 4 men behind the rack, 6, 5, and 4 points, and an impure position. All right, 6-1, nice start. Joe's, each point toward 11 is a pretty big deal. Yeah, the top heavy 6-point and the stripped 8-point, if you're going to split against a 6-1, do it quickly before more ammunition's in position to team up with that stack of checkers on the 6-point to attack you. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's sort of cute. You sort of want to hit, but you really want 5 of them. It's not absurd to make the ace point, something that we really didn't do in the deep old days. And this is kind of doing a little bit of everything. The trick is she's not trying. The reason she left the checker back on the 22-point isn't that she didn't want to get it out. She wants to keep her back checkers together, not divided. So she doesn't really want the 22-point as an anchor, but she'd take it versus the 24-point. And I don't know, was this Joe's turn? I think 5 out and just cover the 11-point. Akiko's positions is entirely stripped. I see he's looking at the super duper steal all of her role play. The super duper steal all of her role play is if you had a 3rd checker on the 8, hitting both checkers might have been a reasonable ploy. Now we're going the other way. You want to hit and you want to make the 20-point, and you don't really want to lose your midpoint. You can also make the 22, which is what Michi calls the butterfly anchor. You make it early, and then at some point it matures, and you got to fly away from it. This covers everything, but eschews the immediate hit. I'm inclined to do this. If she doesn't have the pip count, she's probably counting right now. That's almost certainly what's going on. You can look at her head if you look at the screen. Her head's moving around sort of like an old-fashioned card counter, counting the cards around the table, counting the pips around the table. If she decides the pip count's no good, then she'll do something like this. And if she hits, she's probably not going to make the 22. She might even step up to the 20 or come down to the 11. To hit and make the 22 is not the default play if you hit. I mean, it might be right, but don't just automatically make it. That 22 points of kind of a poopy point here. Plus, you don't want to be playing too far back when you've already made your own 2-point. You get into a push me pull you situation where a llama with 2 heads pointing in opposite directions. You want some of your checkers back in the back and you want some of your checkers way forward in the front, but you've only got 15 checkers. And from dear experience, that's not enough. This seems to hold all the long-term chances together, but it does give Joe it doesn't put any immediate pressure on Joe, but Akiko can now, play some complex backgammon if need be. She will hit on the 20 point almost with any 1, 2, 3, 8 or 15. Possibly, possibly accepting 5-2. Okay, hold on to everything. It actually doesn't look that bad. And this is a lot of nothing. Let's see. I think Akiko might even be ahead here. Well, all those blots over there. I mean, what he's clearly considering is playing 13 to 10, and then maybe building the. And that would have been exciting. That would have presumably hit and covered one way or the other, but that's not an option now. So now the trick is, again, everything's stretched thin. Make all the points and leave the blot there. That's what you'll do. This seems. Now you've got some serious bite if you hit a blot, some very serious bite. Plus that checker's not loose. Plus the deuce you've left. Oh, that got away neatly. Okay, now it's a race, and I'm too slow to count it. Well, there's a bunch of. Oh, look, you can do the nifty shifty and switch off the 6 point. Okay, now we hold on and see who rolls doubles. Well, there's a doubles. Maybe we'll get a chance to. Well, I'm getting a little herky jerky lag in my feed. 5-1, not a lot of pips. We'll be down here 18 to get out there. Then we get back a whole bunch. This is close. They probably both know the pip count. If Joe stops to think, it means either he doesn't have the pip count or he's ahead and trying to figure out by how much. And if Joe has, this is more or less a racing position. It could get, I think the contact actually favors Joe, which means he must be behind. You don't want to leave any volunteer shots, so how's the best way to clean this up? And I think you just got to keep that going to the ace point. You want to keep that puncher for the 5 point in case Kiko's forced to leave. Where did we start? We started here. 1, 2, was that 3? Okay, this is 3. He's obviously, well, we can almost count the race now. Down 18 over there. Get back 14 and 8, get back 22. So you're up 4 for a second. Get back 10, down 6, get back 4. 2. This is close. Looks like he's down a handful. But I may have got my counts backwards. Yeah, I mean, plan B, you sort of want to real fast make your 2 point from your 8 point and see if she notices, which you can't legally do because it's blocked. All right, he kept the most contact, which probably means the race isn't great. Now this big question: do you run and rely on your much stronger board now, knowing you're likely to be attacked, or do you wait? If you wait, you're wasting pips and you're breaking your board. I think unless you're way behind the race, I think do this and see what comes of it. Joe would take some time to look at the cube, although with a 4-0 lead, maybe not. Okay, she's going to at least show us what it looks like if she doesn't run, and it doesn't look good. You don't really want to break the 6 point altogether. Yeah, I guess this gives you the best chances of holding a 5 point board. You'll fill in her 3 point next. Awkward number. I don't think he wants to leave any volunteer shots, so he just sort of has to do this. Now Akiko can run, and Joe may have to leave a double shot. The play is forced. Now, 6-3, 6-4, some combinations leave only 11 returns. 5-3 has absolutely nothing. This is terrible. We don't even have anything to talk about other than he should hold his points and try to keep her in there. Now Akiko counts, looks at the race, doesn't have enough numbers to get away with. Presumably she's ahead in the race. At least this just leaves aces. She's down 5 pips there, but she gets a bunch right now. She's ahead. Oh, is that his worst number? Because anything smallest number not containing an ace. There you go. Joel rolls his worst. Now we sort things out because now Akiko, let's see, she's down 4-1 there. She's down 5 there. He did. Well, the reason there is if he rolls like double sixes, he doesn't want to slam a checker to the ace point. That's a close play. And another poopy roll. This time he'll clean it. Now it doesn't take much to count the race here. She's just getting in double range. She's up 6, 7, 8. This must be a double. Yeah, I like it. She's up 8 and enough pips and crossovers that it's done. Well, there you go. Sort of went the way we thought it would go until Joe got out-timed and Akiko could turn into a race without getting hit at all. All right, 2-1. She likes this play. Well, good for her. And Joe likes hitting. That's nice.
Just make it right. That's why I was that makes sense.
Hey, Mama? Do you know where the side brackets are currently?
They're languishing back here on the table here. Face down. Story of my life. Thank you for your mama.
Aha! I appear to be back. What has happened? Well, not a whole lot. Oh, look at this is interesting. Everybody's blitzing everybody. Yeah, this is, have I missed the cube already? Does Akiko actually have the cube? Well, that's interesting. This is probably too good to redouble. This is very, very exciting. If I've missed the action here and Akiko has the cube, which is what it appears to be, I don't think Joe can take this, even though he's got a 3-point board. He's got 1, 2, 3. He's got 4 loose blots. All of Akiko's checkers are bearing down, and roughly half of his numbers simply build his high 5 or her 5 point on Joe's head. So he's got multiple double hitting type numbers. I guess a 4 is his only awkward number, but 4 combined with a 6, a 1, a 2, or a 3, or another 4 hits 2 checkers. I think this is particularly at the score. Joe can't go taking any 4 cubes where gammons are going to happen one way or the other. So I think this is a pass should Akiko choose to redouble, and I personally think it's probably too good. But that's what she's thinking about. Obviously, it's quite a turnaround here. It looked like Joe must have had a blitz. Oh, here it comes. I don't think he can take this. No, he didn't even give it any thought. And now we've got a 7-point match. What fun. That great big lead disappeared. All right, next game. Automatic. 5 and 2. Back in the old days, we rarely split. All the original old books said if you split with a 2, that leaves you vulnerable to double 5s. So don't do it because you could lose the game in one roll. And that's partly true, but mostly the damage done by double 5s and the gain by getting that split in were misanalyzed, they were misweighted. People knew the issues, but couldn't weight them correctly. Oh, look at this. Well, yeah, here I think take the bird in the hand, and now Joe can, with the anchor and the 20 point, you're liberated to start slotting points, which if he can't make a point, he'll slot it right now. Well, he can make lots of points. That one and that one, well, he doesn't really want that. You can't make the point you want, make the point 6 away. And the points that Joe wants are the 4 point, he's got the point 6 away. The 7 point, he's got the point 6 away. The 9 point, he does not. Joe will attack this block. You can't leave it sitting up there waiting to get out. So that just looks like 11 or 10 to 3 hit. That's he hit with a 3, looked around for a 4, couldn't find one, so we restacked the 6 point is what happened. And she will run. Now we got 3s and then some 1s and 4s. That's one of those 4s. Let's see that. Yeah, it's not even insane to come off the 6 point, but this is probably more reasonable. Looks like they're playing dice on checkers count. Pretty good. Joe wants his 9 point or to point on her or to hit her. Cocked. And if he can make the 9 and hit with a 3 off the 6, that would be good. Well, he can either make the 9 or hit. I guess just this mostly primes Akiko, so this is a good thing. She wants a 4 to get out, but she has no ace. If she plays the 4 out, she would have to play 13 to 12. I'm not sure it wasn't actually right to play the 4 out in 13 to 12. There's something to put an asterisk next to and go back and look up later on your Funkin' Wagnalls, aka XG. Oh, now she gets out anyway. Didn't need to get out the easy way. She got out the hard way. Now Joe starts building points. Akiko gets a little closer to home and then counts the race. Well, she's counting the race now. Certainly must be up by a fair amount. 14 to get 2 to the midpoint, 5 more to get that guy out. That's 19, and a whole bunch start coming back the other way. You won. And we got 16. It actually looks like it's fairly close. We'll let her count, but I'm predicting there's no double. Ah, 2-1. Bunch of poop. Well, it's kind of weird. Can you really get any closer to home without making a mess? I mean, completely safe. I wouldn't do completely safe. She may actually end up just playing 6 to 3. It's tough. It's tough. If she does that, then she'll do this. That leaves 9s instead of 10s. And it does take the builder, the spare off the 8 point, which was nice. Oh, nice guess. Nice guess. Hit the shadow. This is slightly easier to get home. Okay, now Joe's wanting to just keep building my board. Leave a 3rd checker back there in case I hit a fly shot. I can keep the 20 point. Or is there some urgency? I may never get that spare off the 20 point safely. This is probably right. Now, even a double 2s lets you come out if you so choose. I think the race was sort of close, and Joe's probably gained some pips. He can't double until he gets free. Now, if he doesn't have the pip count, he will get the pip count. It's probably going to do, no matter what the pip count is, he might do that. But if he's ahead, he does this. If he's behind, he stays back somewhere. Well, he's down 6 to get to those 2 checkers up to the midpoint, and he gets back 11. He's up 5, then he gets back 8 more. He's up 13, and he gives back 16. So he's down 3, down 4. Looks like he's up 2 pips. This is very close. He's up 2 pips. Well, he's going for it. I don't know if I've got a miscount or not. If he's only up 2 pips, it might have been right to stay back. We'll see in a minute. If my crude count was right. I've lost track already. Got down 2. Is he down 9? 3, 6, 7. Certainly close to that. So Kiko's ahead by a little teeny bit is our unofficial count. Now she's ahead by a bit more. Joe's trying to match a 9. He matches it nicely. So he's up by like 15. If she rolls like a 10 here or an 8 or something, she can still take. That might not be big enough. Now we'll find out what the count is. Joe knows the count. Doesn't look good. 5 checkers there, so you got to get 2 in. She's down 5 pips there, and then 7 there is 12. Get back 4 is down 8. 5, 4, 6. This is nope, not quite. All right, Joe's within 4. Oh no, he's only within 6, so we need a double and a backgammon to get out. 7 away, 6 away. I like being even away, and even away 6 or shorter. I always think I can, I can win this. A double and then get a backgammon, and the match is over. 4 away, it's a lot of fun because double and any gammon and the match is over. When both sides are 4 away, that's tons of fun because both of them want to play for gammons and get the cube going. Right, meanwhile, Akiko's made an advanced anchor. Joe's escaped with one of his checkers. Yeah, you think twice about that. He points, let Akiko know that he's not as dumb as he looks. Could play a 4 down and a 3 up. I mean, he really wants the 9 point. It's not. If he makes the 5 point is the 5 point. That's what you say to you. Oh, the 5 point's the 5 point. What can I do? But notice you've all the checkers stacked on your mid and 6 point are still stacked on your mid and 6. I'll bet he does this. This is a much prettier play, and I'll bet Joe does it. It's just if he could make his 5 point using checkers from his, like if he could make his 5 point just using 2 aces off his 6 point, he might well do that. But he has to leave the 5 men stacked on the mid and the 5 men stacked on the 6. So I like this. She'll hit and bring 1 down. It's she's got the advanced anchor, which Joe is partly constrained. He hits both. This is nifty. She wants to come in deep. No. Coming in high is sort of bad news because now Joe has a simple game plan. Just run right by her. I mean, it wouldn't take much. Scores reversed, he might even be considering doubling here. Sort of funny. He doesn't. Making the 10 point does constrain Akiko, and it gives him a place to land. But it's a little bit tricky to bring the position forward. That's it. See, this is showing as I said back with the 5-4. So this may be garbage takeable. This may be garbage takeable. I don't care what the pip count is. I think there's just too much contact here. You're not going to get gammoned. It's a flukish gammon to get gammoned here. You got the anchor on the 21 point, and Joe hasn't built any homeboard points yet. The only, the way you lose this is if you get hit, then you want to come back in on the 24, the 23, and just be a nettle in Joe's shoe. Okay, and I think he's actually supposed to hit both checkers. Yeah, this is pretty straightforward. It's no big deal if she hits back, and if she doesn't hit back, he's got something going on here. There we go, coming in back here. Now the holding game and front game is starting to dwindle. Oh, look, 2-3. Look at all the things you can do. You can cover the bar and the 5. That seems to have the nicest path. Now Akiko wants to come in with a 2-1 or something and lurk back in the back. All right, dancing helps a little bit timing. Joe covers the 9 point and gets off the midpoint. Nice roll. I mean, he could break the 10 with a 3 and play 9 to 5 and try to clean up some of the outfield. Well, that's an interesting thought. Just stop her from making an anchor straight away. I don't think he's going to do that. I think leaving those 2 loose checkers out. This is another one. Again, he's looking to next turn. What's going to clean up more easily next turn? And then the final play is just to come down there, leave no shots this time, but a total mess to clean up next time. I like this play. I think it's a good idea. 2-6, and I don't know. It's not ridiculous to hit. She does have the cube over there. Hitting could blow up in her face. All right, she's gonna just she's gonna look at it. Maybe just a little too dangerous to hit, but Joe's given up his midpoint, so there's a loose dangling participle there. If she hits a lot of the hit back numbers, the 5s and 4s which hit back, are leaving blots all over the place. Akiko's checker on the 23 point is sort of putting pressure on Joe's 8 point. So like if she comes in with ace 4, come in with an ace and try to hit with the 4, I'm gonna speculate a guess that she actually makes this play. It's only the small to medium doubles which crush Joe. That's what she's thinking about. She's whatever formulas she follows or things she looks at, 1 or 2 world championships. This coming in is just a nasty position with that 6. It's funny if she had an ace I think this here you can see this blowing up in your face, but you can also see how easily this can come forward. This is a good hit. The only question is which does he hit with, off the midpoint or off the 7 point, hit off the 4. Maybe sending the 4th checker back and just keeping Akiko's forces completely split. In with the 4, forced, 5 there, semi-forced. Now we're kind of transposed. Joe, what can he do? Sit tight and just come into the 5 point. Hit one of those. I don't think he's going to hit loose off the ace or deuce point. Just run out with the whole 5. Nah, he ran in with the whole 5. Not sure. Might have been running direct and hit with anything. Go ahead and hit it. No, she's going to try to build her board and save the hitting till later. Bingo. Okay, that's now, remember those gammons I said couldn't happen? Here they come. Here they come. Get in quickly and all is well. That didn't get in. Didn't even get one of them in. Oh, no, he's attacking. I'm sorry. Got my head screwed on backward. So trying to get out and protect against some double 3s or 4s or something. That's probably what he's done. Hold everything together, and double 3s and double 4s aren't such disasters. All right, there's 1 in. Make your 3 if you can. You can't, but you can run around. Get the other in. We've got gammon saving to doing in addition to winning. Okay, yeah, just in case a shot pops loose, build a point. Nice. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I don't think you pre-clear the 7s. This looks like a perfectly normal, good play. Not too worried about gammons, and you want to, if a shot happens, that's good. Clear from the rear, bring them all home. There's still fluke gammon chances here. Akiko will run around. Yes. Not sure it really matters which 6 you play. That one makes a prettier forward position. In case she hits a shot, she's going to want a bar point. And there's no shot being hit. Joe's not leaving a gap. big doubles. Yeah, spreads or checkers around. Not sure they matter too much. Big doubles here, and the gammon is serious. I think gammon's getting serious anyway. 7, say 8 rolls. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is a little annoying versus preserving a good blockade in case she hits a shot. Wow. She needs to answer that possibly twice. Go back and play the double ones differently, but Joe's cruising to a somewhat improbable but possible gammon. Made it look easy. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got to get off in 3. Not going to be easy. Not going to be easy for Akiko, which is going to make the score 9-4. That's 9-4 is nasty. She's just like, she hasn't rolled 6 pips yet. I think she needs boxes twice. That's not boxes. All right. Well, Joe wins the match if he wins an undoubled gammon. So a lot of the sexy opening doubles where you've got gammon threats go out the window. Those become too good and possibly not good enough. So Joe basically, getting to 10, getting to Crawford is not quite as good as winning, but it's very close. And winning a gammon is a big deal. All right, if Joe's making the 2-point, it must be right, because he'd rather not make that play, I know for sure. Akiko fills in her 4 to go with her 3. That's a good improvement. Builders everywhere. That's not the time to do any slotting. Akiko wants to roll a 9 or a 10 or a 3-1. Preferably a 9 or a 10. There's a 9. Joe wants to get in with a 5 or 2-6 or something. There you go, 5 and hit. Joe's he can work on building a home board, or he can get that anchor on the 20-point with Akiko's 8-point missing. It's a pretty big deal. She's going to fight for it, and she's going to fight for it all out. Joe would like to get in, preferably with a 5 or a ace 4 or 2-4. Ace deuce, yeah, I think get the more advanced anchor is clearly correct, since there's no 8-point there. Oh, good double. Good double. How gammon do you get? And there are more gammons here than maybe meet the eye. Man, the plus side, he's got that anchor on the 23-point. Akiko doesn't really have a whole lot of stuff in place, but losing a gammon here is just not something that Joe wants to mess around with. When you got a big lead in the match and there's a somewhat gammonish cube looking at you, one of the sort of general rules is if this would be a double at a normal match score, then it's probably a pass here. If the double is being made out of desperation because of the match score and wouldn't be a normal double, then it might be a take. Okay, Akiko, now she can play, this is a nice doubles, but it doesn't do as much as it normally would. It develops some checkers, but there's nothing left to do. That thorn in Akiko's side, or on Joe's side, the anchor on the 20-point is just a great big deal. Yeah, I like this play. Make them in order. To break the 8 in order to make the 3, when really what you want is the 5 and 7, is a big. Oh, look, there's the 3 she could have made. Now let's see if she can get something back in return. And the answer is no. And it's either that play or slot the 5. But I guess the race is such that play makes sense. 6-3. Yeah, it's sort of. If you don't do that, what does he do? If he doesn't do that, then I guess he's got to clear the midpoint. I think yuck. Where's the midpoint and weights? I don't know. I don't know. This is looking at your front position, it's maybe it's not time to leave the anchor. She'll hit them. All the 1s and 3s to build the 5-point or duplicate to build the 3-point, but that doesn't really matter. She'll gladly make either one. Now let's see the other play, Joe. How he's doing it in his head. Maybe he's counting the race or something. That's possible. For all the relevance that has. It probably has some relevance. Well, this is why he gets paid the big money. Obviously it's safer to sit tight, and the midpoint's not worth a ton. So he can do this and wait for a better number, or maybe hit a fly shot. And he's decided there was just too much danger from flying out of the cocoon off the butterfly anchor. There we go. See, now this is the problem, is having, you can't fly now until you roll. Oh, there Bill's a point, until you roll big doubles. Advantage of Akiko, she's anchored on the 20-point, and Joe's pinned in on the 22. But it's not. If Joe was pinned further down, like the 23 or 24, this would be a double. As it is, everybody's waiting for something good to happen or bad to happen to the other guy, or good to happen to them. Akiko can handle anything for a roll. He'd probably get both off the 20-point and bet against a 10 or whatever that is, a 10 or a 12 or a 13. Oh, there you go. Good time to get in. They sending interesting messages. No interesting messages. And I turned my back just in time to see. Well, now Joe's playing for a gammon is what's happening. And the match right here. Oh, this is real serious problems. Fill in the 5-point, and most hope is lost. Well, you can't really slot it. I don't see, what's he thinking about? Come around to the 11. What's that exposing him to? Double 1s. Coming to the 11 exposes him to double 1s. And if he doesn't come around to the 11, what does he do? He could play the 2 out and break the 8-point. I don't think he wants to do that. I might pay double 1s. And that's what he's thinking about. There's no, the best developmental play is to take the block from there. See the problem here? Yeah, well, that dodges double 1s. Maybe, I guess he decided, and maybe the trade some other stuff in the home court. All right, now we want to hit some point on something. And that point's on. Oh, that hits. It hits with a 3. Can't make a point. Could hit with a 3 and the 5. That might be a bit rich to beat the score. If people know they're being streamed, well, you should never stack your checkers on the bar. These days, so many matches are streamed. We used to have to, we being the commentators and directors, when people, when only a few matches were being streamed and they're big matches, we used to tell the less experienced players that were being streamed, whatever you do, don't do what Joe just did. And Joe knows better. He's just getting old. Look, he's got 3 of them stacked up there. That really confuses. Remember, there are 3 red checkers there. Now there's 2 red checkers there. If I had turned my head to get a sip of water, I wouldn't know there were 2 red checkers there. I'd count the checkers, see 14, and wonder where the 15th was. Start rolling 2s, or this match is over. We need a 2 like now. Oh, that counts. Okay, now dance. And then another 2. Ooh. I don't know if you really want to be there, do you? Maybe come in with a 1 and play 6 to 4. Or all the way up. That's the best way to get out. All right, get a 2, Akiko. Get a 2 or double ones or 2-1. Excellent. Excellent. Not exactly winning the game, but the blitz and solid gammon just now. Careful about a lot of 5s. I think hold everything. Little Bo Peep. Need a little teeny number, Akiko. Well, that might be small enough. It's probably right to let him bust with double 3s or double 5s. Even double 5s is the biggest cracker. 5-1. Okay, that's the beginnings of stretching that prime too thin. I mean, 4.5 in a row is more than you may think. Here we go. Now, even 4-1 doesn't quite get out. Oh, but 6-1 does. See, 4-1, you could come out with a 4, but then you have no ace to play. All right, now, fair chance to save the gammon. She may be cracking. It's close. See how much she cracks before Joe has to break. Joe's wondering, is it maybe I should start pre-clearing and making it easier for next turn. I don't know about that. I think there's a chance that Akiko cracks. So maybe just standing pat. That's a nice crystalloid board. I can see the basic framework of the old crystalloid boards, updated considerably. Coming in against the 2-point, clearing the 7 early is a very good idea in general. The trick here is, was it better to keep the prime? I'm going to be at the UK Open in Leamington Spa, UK, next weekend. And I've got a lecture, a Hidden Whoppers lecture, and in it is bearing in against the 2-point, and that it's right to clear the 7-point before you clear the 8-point. It's right by a lot. All right, that's we're at Crawford. Gammons are live for Akiko. I mean, if she wins just 1 point, then she's 5 away and needs to, win 3 games in a row. If she wins 2 points, she's only 4 away and only needs to win 2 more games. So Akiko wants to win a gammon. Joe wants to not get gammon, but he also wants to win. And, linking the back checkers here is a good idea. And this worked well. Now, yeah, I mean, we put it to the test. How does a 6 play? A 6 doesn't play well, so make the tempo hit. There's the 6, and notice it doesn't play well. Cleans up a blot, but it doesn't do anything good otherwise. 1 chance to roll something good. We rolled something totally useless. Well, you can't play the number is the problem. She may end up having to play 13-4. You almost want to play 13-8 and not play the 4. All right, Joe will want to attack if he can. Well, that does all kinds of stuff. That could hit 2. That's a possible play. Not ridiculous. Yeah, there you go. Well, and look, he spreads them out on the bar. He must have heard me. Nicely played. I think the reason not to make a simple developing play is that Akiko had too many threats. Her position was too flexible. Both in was very good for Akiko. Joe, 4-3. Well, now there's all kinds of choices. You can sit back, make the 18-point, slot the 3-point, and play this positional thing, which won't get you gammon for sure. Best play to win or to win a gammon. Of course, he doesn't need a gammon. Like pick and make the ace point. You can point on the 2-point. This looks like it keeps everybody in play. It can blow up in your face. If the match score was different, if Akiko was 7 away instead of 6 away, or even 5 away instead of 6 away, then the gammon doesn't do her really very much good at all, in which case Joe might make the other play. Well, he's he's thinking with his checker shuffles, which I like. And there's the other one. We've seen all three plays, which we talked about. This is great. This will be a fun one to do some XG rollouts on. And don't trust the evaluation. Do rollouts and see how the play changes depending on match score. Look at gammon go, look at gammon save, look at double match point. Gammon save, which is sort of where Joe is at. This is the right play. This one gives you an anchor, gives you a good positional game you can play for a long time, which won't get gammon. Look at this 3-1. That's a pile of poo. I think he's actually supposed to make the 5, and she's supposed to make the 5, and she's just going whole hog. Make whatever point you can, no matter what the order. I guess since the checker was already on the 4 point, might as well use it to cover the ace. That's one that XG has probably taught her, which it never taught me or any of my old buddies. Yeah, and Joe doesn't really have any choices here, so good play. He needs to get in. Well, that gets in nicely. Yeah, I guess you make the 11, bringing builders to bear on the 5 punt, which you really, really want. Yeah, okay, now this is, checker's not really that vulnerable there. Look, if it gets hit, there's going to be a zillion return shots, like here. Might even be better to anchor up on the 21 and slot the 5, or anchor on the 21 and slot the 3. I'm not sure. Hitting works real well only when Joe dances. All right, let's see. Dance, Joe. Give us a thrill. Stay out. Well, maybe come in with a 3 and hit with a 2 in your home board. He's not going to not hit, so he's got to hit something. All right, now get in and hit. And first one to dance gets gammoned. Oh! Uh-oh. Joe really wants to build a home board point on her head, and that doesn't do it, but picks up another one. Bring that closer. Yeah, it seems to get an extra diversified builder in play. Oh, hitting. Boy, hitting is rich. Hitting is really rich. It might be the right play. Oh, I love it. This just goes for the gammon straight out. Good. There are 3 of them up there. Get 2 of them in, including a 3. Well, okay, that gives us an anchor to play with. Now cover and run. There's the cover. Now, do you run or bring a builder for the 2? I think run. Cover and run is what I said before he even rolled. In with anything. That's no good. Move fast. Make the 2 if you can. Otherwise, probably make the 8. Block the double 4s. Keep, have the point 6 away from your 2 point. I'm inclined to like 13 to 8. I wonder what he's thinking about as plan B. Well, maybe he'll show us. Play that 4 and then 16 to 15, leaving double 2s over there. You just play 13 to 8 and not leave anything. I think he wants the 8 point. All right, I maybe a little too. Yeah, that is 13 to 8. He just did it in the step by step. Did it in partial fractions. Ooh, bad time to dance. Akiko can't really play a 2-4 back game even if she gets in. If she did that, she'd be playing a 2-4 front game or holding game. What she really wants to do is get them in and play the 4-point game while Joe still has a whole lot of freight to move in the outfield. But time for that is running low. 6-5 here. I'm not sure the bar is the place to be. This without doing any great calculating, this looks prettier and feels a little better. He's really trying to scramble home and not have any checkers dangling away. Oh, good. If he can point on it, he'll point it on it. If he can hit it loose and make like the 10 point, he might do that. I think he will. Cover the 10 and hit. Nicely done. Now she obviously needs 2. They're gonna count that as cocked. It's sitting in between in the little hole between the checkers and the wall. But 1 in. It's beats flunking. Joe will cover if he can. 6, 8, 9, 11. That's a 6. And do we just? You see that leaves the double 4s double hit. You know, it kind of doesn't really want to do anything. He wants to play 13 to 12. The problem is that pays double 4s twice. Suddenly you might be getting gammoned. And that may be too much to pay. Yeah, that's safer than the other. And that's way too much. I think he's supposed to leave the double 4s. When double 4s is pretty, it's not super devastating. Maybe not. You know, maybe not. Maybe stack it up. All right, he's good. Okay, now roll double 4s. There it is. Nope. Now get off the 10 point. Play 11 to 6. That's my prediction. Oh, now double 4s hits. Or at least get in, so you might have a combination shot next turn. No! Now get 1 or both in without leaving double 4s. There you go. That's it. 1 in without leaving double 4s. That's. I'm sure Joe's doing the same thing. But think about what you're trying to do, and then see if the dice let you do it, or if you need to look for Plan B. If you know what you want to do, and the dice let you do it, you don't have a whole lot to think about. Finally in. It's going to be a hard gammon to save without hitting something. And 4 over and 5 over. It's sort of funny, the slightly mismatched outer points. I probably would have played the 4 over and the 5 off, but the slightly mismatched outer points are a bigger danger than we used to think. But I don't know the specifics of it. Here you can take 2 off, leaving no shots next turn, no chance of a shot. And I think there's 0 chance of leaving a shot. You make the play which has 0 chance of leaving a shot. Joe just sorted that out. Well, cover it with a 3 and then figure out what to do with a 4. Well, it wastes no pips and brings it into blockading position in case a shot pops loose. And Joe continues to take checkers off and has 0 chance of leaving a shot next turn. Akiko is sort of given up on, and she can use all of her pips to race home and keep everything pure. She's sort of given up on the gammon. Saving gammon doesn't really do much for her. Well, she loses the match. She has to play to win here. There is no gammon. What am I talking about? It was Joe who was worried about gammons. Akiko could care less about gammons. She's just trying to win. That makes everything make sense, and my babbling make no sense. Joe, meanwhile, is getting down to about done. Any doubles other than double 1s, and it's match over. You get 5 insta-winners. Okay, next turn, don't roll an ace. Can handle 3-1 double 1s and 2-1s. So it's just 6-1, 5-1, 4-1. There's just 6 shots. One of them gets hit on average. Boom, handshake. Well, that was fun. That was fun. Good stuff. Exciting positions. And when it counted, it went Joe Russell's way. So Joe advances, and Akiko goes to fight in the fighters bracket. And I have no idea what's up next.